Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me. I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Welcome to Camnet TV Midday News. The headlines. Drug Enforcement Commission set to curb drug abuse in CHIBOLYA compound. Government and public sector unions sign a debt swap addendum. Join me with the news in detail after this commercial.
Giving birth to my firstborn son was a challenge, not because of maternal complications, but because the health center was so far away. Today, the newly built health center is only meters away. So with my second-born, it was so much easier. As a mother, access to antenatal and postnatal health care is a priority. That is why I commend the PF government for bringing quality health care near our homes.
May I please have 1 beer and 2 glasses?
Do you have champagne? Yes.
Hold that thought. No champagne, just for the month. You know we gotta keep on texting R to 9595.
I'm sick and tired of this R9595.
You stand a chance of your lifetime to win a brand new 2020 Range Rover Evoque when you text R to 9595. From as little as 5 kwacha, you get 1 entry. 10 kwacha for 3 entries, and 20 kwacha will give you a whopping 7 entries. There will also be daily and weekly consolation prizes up for grabs. That's great news, right? Competition runs from 12th of May to 31st of August 2021 and is only open to Zamtel subscribers. Terms and conditions apply.
Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
And now the media news in detail. The Drug Enforcement Commission has revealed a long-term plan to end drug supply in CHIBOLYA compound. Speaking in an interview with Camnet TV yesterday, Drug Enforcement Commission Public Relations Officer Kamanga Mathias says the commission is targeting to cut the supply of illegal drugs completely in the compound within 3 years. Mr. Kamanga says a number of stakeholders are on board to raise the awareness of dangers of drug abuse, especially among young people.
Cases, the drugs that are being sold in CHIBOLYA are not resident in CHIBOLYA. They are not being sold by people that are residents in that particular compound. They are brought in from different communities and they just use it as a marketplace where they can be able to sell these particular drugs. As a commission, we have a project, 2 things that we're doing. One is a long-term project where this project we are going to implement over a period of 3 years. In the 3 years, we're going to make sure that we bring in awareness not only to the people that live in there, but also we cut out the supply from the various communities where the drugs are coming from to into CHIBOLYA and ensure that that drug problem is cut out. We've given ourselves this as a challenge as a commission, because what we're going to do in CHIBOLYA is what we are going to replicate even in many other compounds across the country that are known to be problematic in it. And so as a commission, we're concerned and we are doing something about it. We want to raise awareness so that people may decide by themselves not to engage in drug abuse, rather than waiting for somebody to go hunting for them and arresting them for these vices.
Government and the public sector unions have signed an addendum to the current collective agreement on the implementation of the debt swap for the civil service yesterday, July 16th, 2021. Speaking during the signing ceremony, the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting Permanent Secretary Amos Malupenga has revealed that no salary deduction from civil servants is expected during the implementation process. Meanwhile, Public Service Management Division Permanent Secretary Boniface Chimbwali has urged the civil servants to avoid overborrowing henceforth, as debt can affect the performance of workers in public service. With the debt swap arrangement, civil servants' loan savings cycle under different financial institutions will be repatriated to the public service microfinance company, where the repayment will be implemented with low interest.
The micro finance institution, which is a government institution, will ensure that it will give you the terms and conditions which will be so favorable as compared to going to the bank to get a loan from the bank or other financial lending institution. So this is the process we are saying. It will take a maximum of 3 months to do the reconciliations. I owe you, you owe me. How do we reconcile when we transact this way? Do you remain owing, or are you going to clear whatever is outstanding? Or
just to emphasize what J.S. Uvala has said, please, to the civil servant, if you have to borrow for investment rather than consumption, do not go back into the debt trap. To our colleagues from Public Sector Union, congratulations to yourselves. I think this is a milestone. And let me take the first step to sign this addendum.
The Prison Care and Counselling Association PRISCA has called on the church, civil society and other stakeholders to come on board and donate radio and television sets to Zambia's correctional facilities in order to allow inmates make informed decisions when voting in the August 2021 polls. PRISCA Executive Director Dr. Godfrey Malembeka says various political parties have not had a chance to sell their campaign messages to inmates due to coronavirus regulations which prohibits gatherings. Mr. Malembeka says the current situation has put inmates in the dark as they cannot assess various political candidates who have taken time to campaign through the media.
Inmates in Zambian correctional facilities will, for the first time since the country's independence in 1964, be able to cast their vote in the general elections on 12th August 2021. However, the coronavirus pandemic has made physical gatherings impossible, which means that political candidates cannot sell their campaign messages to them. Media campaigns are today widely encouraged by bodies like the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, as physical gatherings increase the spread of the virus. This means that inmates cannot scrutinize political candidates as they have no access to cell phones, radios, or television sets. The Prison Care and Counselling Association, PRISCA, has therefore called for stakeholders to come on board and donate radios and television sets to various correctional facilities so that inmates are able to make informed decisions when voting. PRISCA Executive Director Dr. Godfrey Malembeka said this to Camnet News.
This is the only sure way, the most effective way of all incarcerated people to follow the campaign trail outside. They will need to use these television sets. They need to use those radios and the decoders that we've subscribed 1 month already for them to use. We shall also be buying newspapers and distribute those newspapers.
Dr. Malembeka has also reviewed that the association, with funding from the United Nations Development Program UNDP, is donating these items to 26 out of the 94 correctional facilities in the country. He says they are donating to correctional facilities in 4 provinces, namely Lusaka, Luapula, Northern and Southern.
If you look at the number of people that have registered, it's so encouraging. Out of about 18,000 incarcerated eligible voters, we received 14,965. 14,965 are the people who registered to vote, and that is so encouraging. It shows that they've been yearning, they've been waiting for this. So I want also to appeal to churches. Churches, this is the time that you need to change your versifications and the quotations of the verses in the Bible, and include 1 radio or 2 than just going with the Bibles. This is the time you need to go there and help them with newspapers. They need to follow what is happening outside.
Zambia heads to the polls for general elections on 12th August 2021. Zipporah Mushala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
In other news, Chief Munawana of the Lamba-speaking people of Mpongwe District, Copperbelt Province, and Chief Mukumbwe of the Lenja-speaking people of Ngabwe District in Central Province have called for unity in the forthcoming general election. Speaking during the courtesy call paid on them by UPND Alliance member and Movement for Democratic Change President Felix Mtati, Chief Munawana says political parties should be free to campaign irrespective of who they are, as his chiefdom is compromised of different people with different views. And Chief Mukumbwe says what is important is for peace to reign and for political parties to coexist.
A custodian of Chief Munana's chiefdom, but Chikwetamaka Agwata can stop party for which the campaign in area is no. On the party, but free to campaign freely. Partitioning at the Marco, campaigning there, not like if Nasangin my parody.
Are very friendly.
National Food and Nutrition Commission has urged Zambians to look for affordable ways in which to promote good nutrition values among children under the age of 5, as this will reduce the high levels of malnutrition in the country, which currently stands at 35%. In an interview with Camnet TV, senior nutritionist in Nutrition Education Communications at NFNC, Belinda Tembo, disclosed that the reduction in the levels of malnutrition are attained through people diversifying foods which are within their reach.
Like the saying goes, the future is bright for everyone, especially children. It is important for parents to ensure that their children are well fed so as to keep malnutrition from taking root in the child's life. Stunting has been persistently high at over 40% in Zambia since 1992. The absolute number of children who are stunted has increased. This is why government, in partnership with other stakeholders, have put up drastic measures to reduce malnutrition levels in Zambia. Senior nutritionist in Nutrition Education Communications at the National Food and Nutrition Commission, Belinda Tembo, has urged parents to use foods that are readily available for their children to partake.
Of course, we encourage households to include, for example, groundnuts, which is a common complementary food for children, but not only just porridge and shab or groundnuts as groundnut porridge as we know it, but addition of, for example, vegetables, addition of meats, addition of other, or even using vitamin A fortified maize, the orange maize that we are now promoting. So all these are ways in which one can increase the nutritional value of children's porridge, but unfortunately we are not seeing that in most households.
Ms. Tembo says it is important for children to have balanced diets so as to enhance an improvement in their nutrition values.
That said, I think in Zambia, the major causes of malnutrition from the NFNC point of view, I think, is inadequate food consumption, but also a lack of dietary diversity. So you find that even if a child is given, let's say, porridge to eat, that porridge will have nothing else. It's just maize. And what we know about maize, especially for us in the urban areas, it's usually consumed in a very refined form. So you find that there is nothing but energy. So that's why we would call it an empty energy food when it's plain, in its plain form.
For Zambia to improve food security and reduce hunger, it should ensure that children and their families have access to enough, diverse and good quality foods, clean water and safe sanitation. Blessings Chakwila, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Well, that news item brings us to the end of Camnet TV Midday News, but before we go, here are the headlines once again. Drug Enforcement Commission set to curb drug abuse in CHIBOLYA compound. Government and public sector unions assigned debt swap addendum. Thank you for joining me. I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Remember to always wear your mask, avoid crowded places, wash your hands for at least 20 seconds, or use alcohol-based hand sanitizer. COVID is real. Stay safe. Good afternoon.